Hey YouTube, it's Sean Griffin RC Plans. So I got extra number 3 out here. I'm having to do a little landing gear work. This is my very first fuselage right here. I'm going to rob these tires off of it because I'm fresh out of the good foam tires that come on Aero Scouts. That's what I like to swap out the tires that come on the Extra 300 with it. They're so hard, and these tires are softer. The Aero Scout ones are better than, say, like the Apprentice, in my opinion, because they're taller and the foam lasts longer. You fly as much as I do on asphalt, you'll go through some tires. I don't know how many sets I've been through total, maybe 5 or 6 sets in my airplane hobby here, and they wear down. So I bought some new landing gear that you saw in this previous video, and we dissected it so that I could use the wire landing gear part of the gear as a template to bend the other landing gear back, because of my pretty hard landing last weekend. That was reminded me of my very first flight. Boy, it hit hard and the landing gear spread out, and that is because the AR631 that comes in the newer Extra 300s, that receiver is way different than the AR636. My first 300 had a 636. My second one had a 636. That's the one that I've been flying up until a few weekends ago. And Memorial Day, I crashed it, that I told you about in the previous video. But now I had to start flying this other one that had an AR631 in it. And the flight modes and the gains and stuff is just different. I promise you it is. And when I came in for my first landing, it hit hard and the gear spread out. So I got some replacement gear, and here we are taking it apart and basically putting it all back together. But we are putting some new Aero Scout wheels on it. Well, new to me. Took them off the very first fuselage, my Shelf Queen. That fuselage, I flew it until it just wasn't strong anymore. And so I took it out of commission and kind of refurbed it, just to have on the shelf, something to say, hey, my first 300, I still got it. Kind of like selling your first car, you always wish you didn't. So I still got my first Extra 300. So I hope everybody's doing well. I went out and flew yesterday on Saturday. Today's Sunday, the 22nd, I think, and flew half the afternoon. Patrick showed up. I took the Night Timber X out there, and I took an Extra 300. Oh, what are we going to call this one? It's not technically 3, and it's not technically 4. It's the third fuselage with the second set of wings. The wings that didn't have any hinges in them. Why they were made without hinges, nobody can answer. Not even Horizon Hobby can answer it. I just don't know. And so I put some hinges in those wings, and those are the wings that I've been flying now. And last weekend, I flew the heck out of it. And then yesterday, I tried to fly it, but my ESC was overheating. And that leads me to what I'm doing right now. And I'm going to show you guys here in a video after this one. And we're going to do some testing on ESC cooling. So, the new 300 has an AR631 smart receiver. And I had put a 60 amp Avian smart speed control in it. Now, backtracked a couple weeks, the Extra 300 that I crashed and gave away, that didn't have any smart stuff in it. So I never knew the RPMs. I never knew the amps or the temperature. But here I am with this one. I know all that stuff. So yesterday, flying the Extra 300, it's like 95 degrees out here. The temperature got up to like 204 on the ESC. And I'm like, that's way too hot. I can't do this. I need, take breaks between battery packs. But then I can fly the Timber X, and I can do battery after battery after battery. And the temperature stays around 140. It'll go to like 142, 144, 146, and then I'll be going downwind with not much throttle, and it'll go back to 142. So that tells me that the stock configuration, how Horizon, installed things, how they laid it out, how the cooling is for the fuselage, that 140 is okay. It's okay. But why is my ESC going up to 204 and stuff in the 300? Well, I think it's partially how I mounted it. The airflow wasn't getting it, cooling it down like it should. And then I also think maybe my propeller change is not sucking in air right around the cowling, or I don't know. So I went through and checked the motor out. I felt like it was dragging a little bit because of yeah. So I also crashed it pretty good by putting it in reverse in the middle of the air. But nothing broke, but yeah, that was bad. I thought the motor got jarred, and so took two motors and made one. So now I'm putting the motor in. Now I'm putting the ESC in, and I'm making sure that the ESC is going to be in a position where the air gets it. And we're going to do a demonstration. We're going to demonstrate exactly how the air goes through the fuselage, from the prop and coming out the bottom of the fuselage. I did a video a long time ago. I forget what plane it was, but it was really cool how I made like a wall and I stuck the front of the plane through it only. And then when the propeller was spinning, the air couldn't blow over the wings because there was a wall. So we could see the wind and feel it, it's exiting the back of the fuselage. And that's what we're going to do here in my next video. I've actually got the 300 up on the plane stand and in the process of doing that now. So anyways, just want to let you guys know that and show you that my ADHD has got me putting 4 hours into a brand new set of landing gear. I probably just could have put them on and been done with it, but no, typical Sean fashion. I got to sand it out a little bit to make room for the big Aero Scout wheels. You got to put a little spacer on it to space it away from the, we'll call it the inside portion of the wheel pant. And then it pushes it towards the outside, half of the clamshell wheel pant. And that's where it rubs a little bit. So take your Dremel and you're not taking off much, just a sliver. And that makes room for the tires. It's all part of the hobby. Doing this stuff right here, to me, is fun. To others, it might not be fun, but to me, it is fun. So, hope everybody else is getting out and doing some flying. Hope nobody else is putting their planes in reverse like I was. When I did that, I was watching my plane, and sound travels a little bit faster than or slower than what I can see. And I'm looking at the plane and it's slowing down. I'm like, why is it slowing down? And about that time, I start hearing this helicopter noise. And anyways, the propeller going the wrong direction actually slowed down the impact, because when I got to where the plane was, it was sitting right side up, just like it landed. So, yeah, don't put them in reverse while you're flying. It's not good. That's the second time I've done that. I did it with the Beaver a long time ago, bent that landing gear, and now I've done it with extra, I guess we'll call it 3.5. It's not the third one. It's not the fourth one. It's a combination of 3 and 2. And I don't know, we'll call it 3.5. We'll just call it 3.5. So the landing gear here had bigger screws that held the wheel pant clamshells together. They're black, and all the other ones I've dealt with were silver and smaller. I guess just little upgrades they're doing. Oh, look how shiny it is. You can hardly tell that thing did a nosedive by going in reverse while it was flying. That's the backing plate to hold the gear in. I think I had one of those from a long time ago. I didn't buy that when I got the new landing gear. I just had that. Got the screws. And a little more ADHD here. Like, which way does this go? I actually did that about 5 times, but I cut it out for you. Figured I'd spare you guys that. So the 300 is discontinued. I see some for sale from time to time. I saw one on Marketplace that I was going to buy from a gentleman, and I asked him if he would mail it, and he said he would. And about that time, I could kind of feel, I got the idea that he didn't mail much stuff, and I didn't want to put him through the trouble of having to custom make a box and stuff. So I'm not going to get that one. I'll keep looking. But thank you guys. I appreciate it. And Happy flying, and like, share, subscribe, all that stuff's the best way to support me. At 20,000, we'll give away 3 jets. We can do 3 FMSs, an E-Flight and FMS, and a free wing, or we can mix it all up. We can do whatever, but we'll give away 3 at 20,000. Well, we'll do it sooner or later. Happy flying, guys. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Best way to support me. Till next time, you'll see me here.